Hi guys, I started doing a video about looking within. And as I was looking at the playbacks, I thought, I'm going to change gears. First, thank you to all my seekers. Cheers. I'm going to tell you the truth about me. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. I had a learning disability. I don't have any paperwork on it. That's just what my mother told me. When I was 8 years old, my mother left my father because my father threatened to kill my mother. On a drive into Long Island, uncles were talking. Dad was talking to his uncle. My mother got scared and left him. Dragged us kids, I was about 7, my sister was about 9, to Clearwater to live with relatives. The reason I'm telling you this story about myself is that it is probably the reason why I wrote this book. It's going to be a serious video because, first of all, I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I'm not looking for that. I don't want you to go, oh my God, he went through all that. I'm telling you all this because it made me stronger. It made me a survivor, and I will never, ever give up on what I want, what I dream about. So in essence, all the pain that was inflicted upon me through my life has made me a very strong individual and has created the philosophy. So I can pass that on to you guys. So we ended up living in Tampa with a family, and then my mother got a house. I don't know how she bought the house, but she got a house in Clearwater. My father and mother got back together again when I was about 11. Bought property in Tarpon Springs. We had a farm. And I think my mother gave up on trying to change my dad or make him a better person. And let me make this very clear. There was a lot of good about my dad, but there was a lot of bad about him. He had an anger streak, he had an envy streak, he had a vindictive personality. And he was very abusive to me. Verbally, not physically abusive, very abusive. Because my mother knew I had a learning ability. It would take me days to memorize something or learn something as a phone number, that kind of thing. My father didn't understand that. He wanted me to work for the family business. I was more artistic. I wanted to get into music. And I will do some self-editing on this video. But my father was extremely abusive to me verbally. Every other word was F this Johnny and F that Johnny, and you're a loser Johnny, you'll never be anything Johnny, you're trash Johnny, whatever. I heard that every day. And I would hide in my room. And I'm very lucky that I didn't go the other direction and give up on myself and take my own life. I never really contemplated it. I just thought, I need to get out of this. I need to get out of this. How do I get out of this? This horrible relationship between me and my father. Because I was still young. I was 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. I gave up on school. I didn't have any direction that, if you go to college, you could have a better life. I didn't have any of that. I was just the thumb on, you got to work for the family. So long story, I don't want to, excuse me. I don't want to make a novel out of this. I got a bug in my throat. But I want you guys to know the story about me because I'm not just some Joe Schmo out there trying to hawk my book, to make money. I'm trying to share my life, my experiences that created that philosophy to give you a better life or a leg up on a better life because of the life that I was living. That's true. So the only way I could figure out a way to get away from my father before I would do something really drastic to him or to myself was to escape. And I didn't know how to do that. And I finally figured it out. I started playing my guitar. I got really good at music. And I started getting gigs. And when I got those gigs, I said, see ya. And I'll never forget this. Darn it. I'll never forget this. I was literally loading up my trailer, driving it out down the driveway, leaving the house, moving into my own apartment. I wanted to be, at least leave on good terms and say to my father, he was on a mower. He was mowing the front yard, a rider mower. And I stopped my van and I said, Dad, I'm moving out. And his comment was, you'll be back because you're a loser. You'll be back because you have nothing. That was my father's last words to me when I moved out. So I didn't realize it till many, many, many years later and many, many failures later why I kept failing at things, why I kept not achieving my goals in life. It took me my lifetime to figure that out. Why did I not finish things? Why did I not finish college? Why didn't I continue as a songwriter? Why didn't I continue as a musician? Why didn't I continue as a comedian? Why did I'd get so far. I would get just far enough to where I was really good, and I would stop. I would just stop, and I would change gears. I'd do something else. And I'd hear my father's voice in my head when I was younger. He would say to me, you never finish anything. You never finish anything. You never finish anything. And that stuck in my head. It wasn't so much the verbal abuse about you're a mother this and you're a loser that, on and on and on. It wasn't so much that. It was that one statement. You never finish anything. And instead of me building the strength internally and showing him that I could finish something, because I knew that if I did finish something, I wouldn't get a reward for it. I would get just condemnation, just negativity. So I went the opposite direction. Instead of finishing things, I deliberately wouldn't finish anything. That was my way of revenge. But I brought that with me through my whole life. My whole life that was attached to me. So one day I decided I'm going to move to California. And I did. I moved to California. It's been the best things I ever did. But I still brought that luggage with me. And when I was in college, a year and a half, I never finished. When I tried to learn things, I never finished. And then what I would do is things that would just be given to me, I wouldn't accept them. I remember when my sister my mom and dad were gone, my sister sold the estate, and I was supposed to get the farm and the land. I said, I don't want it. Just sell it. I never took what was mine because I never felt it was mine. You know what I'm saying? I never accepted anything of good for me because I never felt that I never felt I deserved it. I never felt that I deserved it. So where I'm going with this video is for you. If you think that way, if you're having those issues, seek professional help. I never did. But over the years, I have worked it out. It is taking me a lifetime to work it out. And one thing that helped me get over that, you never finish anything, was my book. I had a really good friend of mine that I live with. We've been together for a long time. And I remember I said to her, I want to take my life and I want to put it in a book. I got this philosophy that I want to create. I want to put it in a book. And I started writing the book. And I would write it and I'd stop. And she'd go, I would want to go do some, I'm going to go do some gigs, or I'm going to go back into music, or I want to get back into stand-up comedy, or I want to move back to California, or I want to back up to New York. I always found an excuse. But she stuck behind me. She just said, finish the book, finish the book, finish the book. Year after year after year. After 5, 6, 7, 8 years. She stuck with me. I finally had a positive role model to stick with me and say, finish something. Finish something. And I did. And I'm proud of it. A person that has dyslexia, a person that can't memorize shit, a person that is not literate in writing at all. I wasn't an English major. I didn't know what a run-on sentence was. I didn't know any of that, because I almost quit high school. I literally slept through school because I just didn't like my life. But because of all that history, everything that happened to me in my life is in this book. I wanted to write the book not only because I needed to finish something. I wanted to write this book because if you are being abused physically, mentally, verbally is horrible, like I was. If you're being abused verbally and you're constantly told you can't do this and you can't do that, pick something. Pick anything. I decided to do a book. And the reason the book worked for me, it was compartmentalized. It was, I'm in one space. I'm in my office. I'm in my room. I'm in the living room. Wherever. I'm at my desk. And I could not escape it. And I would look at it, and I would look at the editor. Oh my God, I can't rewrite this again and again and again and again. And I found a really good editor. And she stuck with me, along with my good friend, stuck with me. Finish the book. Rewrite that chapter. No, you need another chapter. You didn't finish that. Go back and finish that. I finished the book. And you too can finish your book. I'm using the book as a metaphor in this video. You too can finish the book of your life. The reason I didn't continue as a comedian was that was all out there. That was something that was just, it was bigger than me. Same way the music was bigger than me. But doing a book isn't. Doing a book is sitting down at the desk and taking the time and just doing it. But by doing that, by finishing this project, I now have the belief in myself that if I want to go back and do stand-up comedy, I'll finish it. If I want to go back into songwriting, I'll finish the song. I'll produce the song like I did with my songs that you can listen to. I know it is taking a lifetime to get to this point. And nobody, not a parent, not a spouse, not a relative, not a teacher, not a president, not a leader, not a cousin, mother or father, has the right to tell you you don't finish anything or you can't finish anything. They don't have the right to say, you're stupid. You're stupid. It took me years to get over that. Years to get over that feeling. My father telling me, you're stupid. You're retarded. There's something wrong with you. What's wrong with you? Took me years to get over that. I literally didn't go, when I went to California, I literally didn't start college till I was 31 years old. Way behind the curve on anybody else. I'm in classes with people coming out of high school. I was the older student. But it was a junior college and it was accepted. There was some other older students in my class as well. But I remember, just as a joke, I was a theater major. Just as a joke, I had a good friend of mine, Ken, other good friends of mine, and we'd be hanging out in the theater department. And somebody would say to me, "You're stupid." And I got this feeling all through it all would come back in my body. Oh. That feeling of fear, that feeling of uncomfortable, that feeling of being controlled would come back. It took forever for me to understand the fact that they're just being in jest. They're not being serious. They're just joking around. You're stupid. As a comment. So if you're a boss, if you're a leader, if you're a parent, don't ever say to somebody, "You're stupid," because they might have grown up in that environment. I was going to do a video on immersion earlier, and I did a couple of clips, and it just wasn't working out well, and I decided to do this because this needs to be done. Cheers. If you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, because I will tell you the truth about my life. I will always tell you the truth. I will never lie to you. I will never sell you shit. I will never try to manipulate you, because I grew up in a world like that. I grew up with a father that was like that. I completely turned out to be the opposite. Thank the gods that I did. Maybe I would have been like him. Okay? Maybe I could have turned out like him, but I didn't. I had the internal strength. There was something deep in me. There was a spark deep in me that needed to come out. And I knew somehow, somewhere, maybe it was my mother, maybe it was an aunt, maybe it was somebody that said something to me when I was a little kid. I was like 7, 8 years old before my father got dug into me. There had to have been somebody in my life when I was a little kid saying, "You got this. You can do this. You're great. You've got talent. You got a gift. Follow your dream. Follow your dream, John. Follow your dream. Don't ever give up on your dream." You might have pushed your comedy aside. You might have pushed your music aside. You might have pushed everything aside. Because here's something I want to share with everybody that watches this video. And this is so true. Sometimes the purpose that you're trying to seek is not the purpose that you will become. Sometimes the purpose that you are trying to seek is not the purpose that is for you. Not to say you gave up on something. Like me, I thought my purpose was to be a great singer, and I worked my ass off at it. I even went as far as having surgery done, nasal surgery done, so I could sing. I did so many things to want to be a great singer, so many things to be a great writer or a great songwriter. And then it wasn't until years later, wasn't until years later, I realized my true purpose was to teach, was to give knowledge and help other people. All the other stuff is peripheral. Yeah, I'm a great comedian. Yeah, I'm a great songwriter. Yeah, I'm a great performer. I'm a great entertainer. Those are my natural traits. Those are just there. But don't forget that. Don't forget that. Don't forget what John is telling you right now. Hold that thought. No, wait a minute. I'm looking at the camera and started to blink. Don't forget this statement. The purpose that you're working on now, your purpose that you're seeking now, there might be something greater than that. That might be the stepping stone to a greater purpose. Hold that thought. I'll be right back. I'm back. Let's build a better kind of world. That's the reason I want to build my utopia. I might not even call it utopia, I'm not sure. But I want to build and create a society of kindness, of love, of understanding, of giving. For as I had told you about my life, I've given up so much in my life that I thought I didn't deserve. I gave up the love of my life. I gave up homes I worked hard to buy. So many things because of that relationship with my father, or what I went through, and because of that control and that abuse. I just didn't think I was worthy of anything that came to me. Even if it was a gift, like an amazing girlfriend that I had when I was in high school or out of high school. Just threw it away. I'm not trying to go down regret road. I mean, I do regret it, but you got to move on. You got to move on. And I think the hardest part about me doing stuff like that is hurting other people. The pain stays with me. Pain has stayed with me all my whole life, that I hurt somebody so dearly that I loved. And still do. Maybe I'm in love with a memory, I'm not sure. Hopefully she's done very well and had a great life. But my life would have been a lot different if I would have had positive role models when I was younger. I wouldn't have crashed and burned. I wouldn't have burned down the house. I wouldn't have not finished anything if I would have had some guidance in my life. And I'm not saying all this for you to feel sorry for me. I'm still doing this with a shirt. I don't want you to feel, oh my God, he went through all this. That's not what this is about. This is about you looking into yourself and seeing how other people, family members, a spouse, a brother, a sister, a mother, or father, are treating you now. At a very young age. If you're 10, 11, 12 years old, you watch this video, or if you're in your teens and you watch this video, and something like that is going on in your family, seek help. Seek professional help. You know, don't be fearful to speak out against abuse. I don't care what age you are. If you feel like you're being abused, if you feel like you're being manipulated, find help. Go to a teacher. Go to a counselor. Go to a social worker. Go to somebody that you trust, that you can let out everything to them and say, what should I do? That might absolutely save your life. That absolutely will save your future if you make that decision today. Find something to do. Write a book. I did. So that's the truth about me. That's the name of this video. That's not my whole life. There is a lot more. There's many more volumes of my life because I've lived a whole life. But that is a snippet of my life that created my life. And I'm going to leave you with what I said earlier. I'm going to leave you with this, and I want you to memorize this. I want you to write it down. I want you to etch it on something. Put put it on a notepad, put it on the refrigerator. The purpose that you're seeking now. I want to be this. I want to do that. I want to study this. I want to go here. I want to do that. I want to become this. What you're seeking now, there might be a greater purpose. So if you seek something, well, I want to go to college, and you don't achieve it, don't beat yourself up for not achieving it. Dig deep and find out why you didn't achieve it, and understand you might have a higher purpose than what you were trying to achieve. Think of a tree. Think of a tree growing in your backyard. You start out a little guy, he's a little tree, he's a little oak tree. And his purpose is, I got to get a limb out here, and I got to get a limb out there, and pop out a couple more leaves. And I'm only 3 foot tall, but I want to be 8 foot tall. That's the tree's purpose. But if you think about it, there is a higher purpose for the tree than just that purpose. The higher purpose is to be a majestic, beautiful tree that's 60 feet tall, that has a huge canopy that makes shade for the whole backyard. That is the bigger purpose of the tree. And that is what you need to focus on. No matter how many times you fail, and how many times you try to succeed, no matter how many things you try to do in your life, remember this. As long as you are alive and you can think and you can be honest and truthful to yourself internally, everything about yourself, there will always be a higher purpose for you to achieve, even if you fail at things. So in essence, there is no such thing as failure, only at the next level above that. One more time. Remember this. There might be a higher purpose for you to realize than what you are working on. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That is a true story about me. Thank you, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to make a promise to you. I will never lie to you. I'll never try to sell you things. I'll never try to manipulate you. I will tell you the honest truth about me, about my philosophy, about what I think. That's it. It's got to be that way. It's got to be that way. Got to go. Love you guys. Bye now.